and I've got to deal with this too. Okay? So this becomes a real problem, right? So I literally tied up myself into the fight. And what I want to do is free myself into the fight. That's a very different concept. And so I don't think of grappling as ground. I think of ground fighting as fighting from the ground, rather than fighting on the ground. Okay. So I know it's semantics, but if you get, it kind of helps to think about things in a specific way, to work a specific way. So you just stay completely relaxed. They have to feel the body on top of them being completely relaxed, and you have to stay completely relaxed. It's like massage work.
Very easy.
Okay? So don't damage them. It's like a massage, really. You kind of like use them like a jungle gym and just not allowed to touch the ground. Rotate, twist in different positions. Be facing one way, have to rotate and face in. Dive across the body, but control yourself. When I move, I don't do something and then relax. Okay? So don't sort of like always be in that state. Just push yourself where you want to go, so you can change at any point. Now he's going to roll that way. Just like surfing. Call it body surfing. Just surfing. Okay? You can't just keep rolling in one direction, so roll in different directions. Just see if you can stay on top of it. Go left. Okay? And I want, whatever point you decide, I want to pin them to the ground. So start to roll, look to the point where I decide to completely climb them up. But I'm not walking up. I'm just walking my way to that position. Let it go when you want to let it go. Stop them when you want to stop them. Okay? Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So here I'm just using my breathing. I'm just relaxing my breathing and moving. So I can be as light as I want to be. When I decide to clamp them down, just everything goes. Use the breathing, breathe completely into them. Just anchor them into the ground with their tension. Okay? Go ahead. So we're going to go from this roll. Roll one. Trying to get it here. We're looking at pin there. And he's going to get his hands on my chest and push me up. So, the strong guy doesn't make all the start here. He's just going to push me up with his hands. Right, he's got the strength to do it. If I push back in, it's a lot of effort, okay, to get something. And the best way to work, and this is just a concept, so if you start to understand this concept, you can understand how people push you off in those sorts of different directions, legs, feet, arms, everything. Okay? The hardest thing to do with a straight arm, or any limb, is if you twist the muscle and extend it. Because the muscle itself is doing this, right? And no muscle works by pushing. They all work by contraction. You don't push muscles apart. You contract one, and that gives you the strength to push someone out, right? One of these muscles is contracting, and that's what's doing it. It's not that the muscles are pushing apart, it's pushing that position. So, if it has this, and the fibers are fibers in the muscle are basically doing this, right? And they want to stay in this alignment. And as long as they have this alignment, it's like an elastic band. As long as that elastic band has that direct aligned pull, that's where it's strengthened. And so if you look at my fingers, the fingers are basically the line of force of the muscle. Now if I can twist that muscle, look what happens to the line of forces. They all go up in about 6 or 7 different directions. As long as I do that, then I've reduced the power of the muscle by 6 or 7 times, because it doesn't have all those things pulling, all those forces aren't pulling together. Now they're all pulling the cart apart, right? And the more I stretch that out too, the more it has to hold on by its fingertips instead of by the knuckles. Okay? So the more I can stretch the muscle and twist it, the harder it is for the muscle to re-engage back in to that. Okay? So, watch out. So, it pushes me up in here. If I go directly back down into it, it has that force, right? But if I just run around in a circle, then I can work from there. So, as soon as I get on top of someone, the chances are they're going to try and push me off. And there's so many different ways I can work from that. But let's just work from here for now. Okay? So as I get on top of him, he's going to push me off. As he pushes me off, I use that just to rotate fully around him. Okay? Lots of different. Here I can completely try that. Okay? Because I've got 3 hands and I can work from here. So locks, chokes, drags. Okay, if you go a second time out, this side, I can work with all sorts of things. Okay, there's all sorts of ways of peeling out from there. But just take the initial thing of feeling can push you off, using that just to maneuver and create pressure. Be careful with the neck, the neck will work. Okay? Okay, you guys want to try that? So let them push you up. Let that end. There's a point when someone pushes you up, they release. That's what you're looking for. If you keep them at, when you're working with somebody, you have, you don't want them to finish or fail at what they're doing. Like when he pushes me up, that's him finishing what he's done. Do it again. This is him failing. Each one of those he understands. He understands he finished. Or he understands he failed, and each one of those is going to trigger another thing. It's going to say, okay, I finished, do something else. I failed, do something else. But if he pushes me up in the air and he gets exactly what he wants, look at that smile. So his ideal is to get me off. And as long as his hands feel that they're doing that, he's happy. Now if I'm too heavy on him, he understands that's a problem. If I'm too light, he also understands that's a problem. So he also understands that releasing or not working is also finishing or failing. But if I work exactly at the speed that he's working, then he never finishes, he never fails. Okay? And he'll keep doing exactly what he's doing, even though it's not doing anything close to what he thought he was doing. His mind is still on those train tracks. So don't pull him off those train tracks. Don't get him onto another train track. Okay? Right, okay. Elevator. So with this part here, what releases that knee, just break. Whatever's open. So him pushing me up, pushes me into a kneeling position, and it just Okay, just be careful with this because it's breaking off. I don't fight it at all, I just look around. Okay. So him pushing me up, I stay exactly with it. Go into a kneeling position, keep your hips forward, and just find the break from here. The better thing for me to do again is to separate them with my knees, two different directions, don't just try and sit down on top of them. Okay? Go ahead. His hands on me, push me up. His brain's in his hands and his body, isn't it? Trying to fight. So I would imagine this is concrete. Okay? I want to put his brain back in his brain so he forgets about his body. Where's your brain? Whereabouts is your brain right now? He thinks up here. You're getting your head rubbed into concrete, and the other side of it, I mean, this is incredibly painful as it is. This is on a mat. You want that brain in his brain. You don't want it in his body where he can use it. Okay? So, put that knee on him. Turn him over. Push his face into the ground. And rotate his spine. Look, somebody has strength because their spine is aligned, their muscles are aligned to that, all the communication to his body system is aligned and perfect, it can go in any direction. This is where, if he was to do weightlifting on the ground, this is the position he would do it from. If I change his spinal alignment, look, his arm is already loose. He doesn't have the strength in this that he had a moment ago. Okay? So anytime you can start to change the head position on the ground, maybe I can show you some other poses as well. So, once I'm on top of him, one of the reasons you might need to get to the other side of the body for whatever reason. If he has half a brain in his head, he's going to lift his leg up and stop me from doing that. Okay? So even here, just put his brain back into his head. So do this for a drill from me. Right, sorry. What you're going to do is use this shoulder to position him the whole time. So use the shoulder, chest, slip down through. Keep his brain constantly occupied at the top end of his body. Okay? So as I'm slipping from here to here, and like this, look, keep that on there, keep that down, get his head in here. The rest of his body becomes pretty open to me now. Okay? So get that shoulder in, push it into the ground, keep your chest rolling across their face, push them sideways. Don't let them get that central alignment they want. Okay? And then change to the other side of the body. Go ahead. I'm going to push you up a little bit. Find out where your break is. How's your movement? So there's no outcome to it, there's no winner, no loser. Just let them take you down, you move, push them off. Just see if you can get your mind into a space where you're relaxed, feeling what's happening, take the break if you see it, roll with them if you feel it. If they go underneath you, they do the same thing. But there's no like, okay, I've got to get on top, I've got to get this guy. You know, just play with it, see what happens. That's all right.
It's recording already, so okay. So change his body, Matt. Very good.
Better.